Hi everyone, welcome back to Storytime Recaps. In this video, I'm going to recap one of the film from 2018, Freaks. Without any further, let's get started. At the beginning of the movie, 7-year-old Chloe lives with her father Henry in an abandoned house that she has never left, and her mother passed many years ago. Then we witness Chloe looking through a hole at an ice cream bin outside her house. There are some odd things outside Chloe's house. The birds outside are motionless and seem to be glitching. The house's electricity is constantly out, and there doesn't seem to be any life outside. Henry always gets angry when she peeks outside. She is not allowed to leave the house because he is afraid of the evil man who killed her wife. Henry is worried about his safety, so he puts a plan in place in case something goes wrong. He has an agreement with the Reed family, who live next door. In the event of his absence, the Reeds will receive a consistent income as long as they look after his daughter. The family consists of a daughter named Harper, a mother named Nancy, and a father named Steve. One day as the two play poker, Henry's eyes begin to bleed. That night while she was asleep, Chloe noticed a weird noise coming from her closet. When she opens it to inspect, a woman screams from inside the closet. Chloe screams in terror as well. She flees back to her bed and begins writing on the wall, saying the words "Go away, ghost," until the screams die down and the ghost vanishes. The next morning, Chloe awakens to the sound of an ice cream truck and peeks through a window. Harper, the daughter of her neighbor, buys ice cream. She whispers to her to bring it to her, knowing Harper won't hear. But shortly after, there is a knock on the doors, so Chloe quickly goes downstairs and opens them. Surprisingly, Harper is the one offering her the ice cream, and she is about to accept it when Henry stops her from behind.
Huh?
Unexpectedly, Harper addresses Chloe by name once more. Henry is perplexed because he has never met Chloe before, so he takes her inside. In a fit of rage, Henry asks Chloe if she has ever met Harper. Chloe claims she has never left the house, but he doesn't believe her and punishes her by locking her in the closet. The next morning, Henry apologizes to her in the closet, but she is still upset with him and maintains that she wants to go.
I want to go anyway.
After making a vow to bring her ice cream if she never opens the door again, Henry heads to the grocery shop, but returns injured and holding a gun.
It's okay.
While he tends to his wounds, Chloe searches the basket he brought for ice cream, but there is none there. She begins to shout at her father, but the injury causes him to faint. When Chloe hears the ice cream truck ringing, she grabs a $100 from her locker and heads outdoors. The elderly man in the truck convinces her to board the vehicle by offering her an ice cream cone as a bribe. She is hesitant, but when he promises to take her to the park, she agrees. When they leave, Chloe gets to experience the outside world for the first time. She spots a billboard with a picture of a man with blood gushing from his eyes and the words "Call 911 if you see someone like that." After she says the man bleeds like her father, the old guy asks Chloe whether she has ever bled like that, but Chloe denies it. When they get at the park, the man asks Chloe, who is sitting on a swing, whether there is anything she can do that other people can't. But Chloe is too busy playing to respond.
Here you go.
As he suddenly begins swinging her violently, Chloe is terrified and begs him to stop. But the man tries to incite her rage in order to activate her abilities. When a police officer finally comes up to them and requests that he leave the girl alone, the elderly guy says he is Chloe's grandfather, but Chloe disputes this. When the officer asks Alan to look him in the eyes, Alan turns to Chloe and accuses him of being one of the criminals responsible for her mother's death. Chloe loses her temper and yells at the man to leave.
Wait, go away!
Surprisingly, it works, and he leaves without saying anything more. It turns out that Chloe has telepathic skills, which allow her to enter and control other people's minds. After seeing that Chloe is a unique child, the elderly guy brings her back to his house. On the way, he gives Chloe a picture of her mother, Mary, and tells her about her. He discloses his identity as Alan, Chloe's grandfather. Before they part ways, he offers her a powder and instructs her to drug her dad when she hears the ice cream truck ringing again. As a result, Henry will go to sleep and Chloe can go to the park. after acquiring the powder and she going inside. After a few hours, Henry awakens to see Chloe sketching in her room. When she accuses him of lying about the sinister individuals outside the house and the two fight.
Don't say that again, okay?
That evening, while looking at her photo, she imagines Mary. When the closet begins to rumble once more, Chloe enters and discovers the ghost she had seen a few days prior. However, she now identifies her as Mary, her mother. When she introduces herself, Mary pulls her away, claiming that Chloe is a delusion and not real. As a result, Chloe leaves the closet. It turns out that Chloe is also capable of long-distance telepathy, which allows her to see and interact with people who are far away. In the morning, the father is sleeping while watching the news. Chloe silently listens to the news. From the news, Chloe learns that they are strange people, frequently referred to as the freaks. Freaks have super abilities causing their eyes to bleed out when they use them. 10 years ago, city of Dallas was ruined by a freak, killing thousands of people. Since then, the government has established the ADF, a defense force against strange people. Every freak is kept in an underground facility on Mount Maddock by the ADF, and those that wander the city are deemed to be breaking the law and may be put to death right away. Agent Ray of the ADF discusses her plan to train the freaks on Mount Maddock to be used as weapons in battle. Chloe is heartbroken by the news and longs to be adopted by the Reed's family so she can grow up to be a typical family member and have a loving mother figure. Later, as Chloe plays with paper toys, she expresses her desire to live with Harper. At that moment, Harper and her pals enter the room, and Harper yells at Chloe, asking her why she is in her room. Despite appearing to be in their own rooms, the two had somehow crossed paths thanks to Chloe's power. As Harper's friends mock her for not having a mother, Chloe sobs and yells at them. When she opens her eyes, Harper and her pals are gone and Mary is in the closet. In the beginning, her mother thinks it is an illusion and doesn't think it is her daughter. But she starts to see that it's actually Chloe and that she has telepathic abilities. After Chloe begins speaking with her, it comes out that Mary, Chloe's mother, is also a freak and is still alive while being confined at Mount Maddock. But not long after, her mother suddenly disappears again. The following morning, when Chloe tells him about her mother, Henry is not convinced. Seeing no other option, she tries to drug her father. Henry notices and follows her out the door, where she tells him to go to sleep, and he falls to the ground while Chloe's eyes bleed for the first time. When they meet in his truck, Alan outlines his plan to her. He says Chloe's mother is still alive, but is being held captive on Mount Maddock. He intends to meet Ray, an ADF agent, and go to Mount Maddock. After bringing Chloe to see Agent Ray, Alan fabricates a scenario in which he is a priest and Chloe is his adoptive daughter. He pretends that he has recently learned that she is a freak. In order to get Agent Ray to protect Chloe and take her to Mount Maddock, Alan also wants to go there with Chloe. To make sure Chloe is a freak, Agent Ray then looks for blood stains beneath her eyelids. Ray looks into Alan's eyes as well, but he sees nothing beneath them. When Chloe is called a freak, she becomes enraged and screams that she is not one. Ray calls for assistance, believing Chloe to be dangerous. Alan and Chloe were fortunate enough to get away by abruptly vanishing. Alan is also a freak who has the ability to turn invisible, and he has been using hydrogen peroxide to get rid of the blood stains beneath his eyes. After they leave, Chloe begs him to take her home, but he insists on taking her to his apartment so they may help Chloe's mother by teaching her how to harness her power. After using her power to force him to go home,
Now.
Henry abruptly shows up on the road, takes Alan in his truck, and then just vanishes. He brings him home and binds Alan to a chair. A short while later, Henry comes back to Chloe and starts to tell her everything. As it turns out, Henry has always been a freak as well because he can slow down time in the outer world by creating a time bubble, while the person within the bubble functions properly. All this time he had created a time bubble around their house which worked as long as he wasn't asleep. According to the outside world, it had only been a few months since Chloe's mother was incarcerated. The two of them had been hiding in the house for 7 years. When Henry decides it's time to let Chloe go, he takes her to the Reeds in order to complete their agreement.
Okay.
Stephen accepts and introduces them to Harper and Nancy.
Sweetie, are you hungry?
After quickly realizing that Chloe is a freak, Nancy backs out of the agreement, claiming she was unaware that they were supposed to be taking a freak. After pleading with the Reeds not to report them to the police, they finally leave. When he returns home, Henry is shocked to see Chloe's eyes bleeding and learns that she already has superpowers. Because he is scared to trust her, Henry hides her in the closet. She meets her mother Mary there, who is being detained at Mount Maddock. But the prison guard abruptly pulls Mary outside. As she comes out of the closet, Chloe tells Henry about her mother. Henry first doesn't believe her, but Alan eventually clarifies everything. As it happens, he and Mary lost their mission on Mount Maddock. Alan escaped, but Mary was taken prisoner. Despite his belief that she had been killed, Mary was just imprisoned. When Chloe unexpectedly witnesses her neighbor Nancy calling the police to report them, she utilizes her psychic abilities to see what Nancy is talking about.
Abnormal children. Too risky.
After Nancy calls her a freak, Chloe uses her influence to sway the policeman. He pierces Nancy's eye. After noticing that her eyes are bleeding, Nancy is immediately shot by the ADF agents when they believe she is a freak. The ADF eventually arrests them, assuming that the Reeds are all freaks. Henry is upset with Chloe for killing someone, but Alan stands up for her and they fight. After heading straight to her room, Chloe sees Mary being taken prisoner. Then Alan and Henry arrive, and Henry is startled to see his wife. It appears that Mary will shortly be executed.
Mommy loves you so much.
Henry attempts to shoot the doctor, but he is obviously unable to do so because it is only an illusion.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Alan and Henry say goodbye to Mary, but Chloe uses her telepathic abilities to take over the doctor's head and use the device to end his own life. Chloe enters the mind of the other officer to free her mother. Just then the doorbell rings. It is Agent Ray. She has come to investigate them. Henry freezing time and pretends to be an agent in an attempt to sell the house. He receives hydrogen peroxide from Alan to get rid of the bloodstains on his face. He allows Ray in and examines Henry for bloodstains. When she finds none, they talk for a bit and it becomes clear that she already recognizes him. Meanwhile, Chloe is freeing Mary from the
I
establishment.
can't defend myself until
Alan arrives to help Henry before he can do anything. When Ray shoots him, he is severely wounded, and before she can do the same to Alan, he becomes invisible. Upstairs, she witnesses Chloe attempting to release Mary. She shoots her, but Alan intervenes and spares Chloe's life at his own life. Agitated, Chloe controls Ray's mind and makes her shoot herself. After that, she bids her grandfather farewell. After hearing gunshots, the police have surrounded the house outside, and Chloe is still rescuing her mother. She controls the guards who are going to take Mary and forces them to murder one another before opening the exit door and releasing Mary. Mary goes outside and uses her power to fly away, and Chloe turns unconscious by the excess of her power. A missile then locks itself into the house, and Henry, who is injured, uses his abilities one final time to slow it down before carrying Chloe outside. As the missile hits the house, burning it behind him. As she awakens, Henry bids Chloe a final farewell and declares his love for her. Henry passes away from his wound. Chloe laments the death of her father, and she hearing gunshots. Agents from the ADF continue to search for Chloe and attempt to capture her. The gunfire abruptly stops and Mary arrives just in time to save her. When Chloe and Mary first meet, she swears to keep her hidden and to protect her at all costs. But Chloe assures her that they can live anywhere they want and that they are no longer needed to hide. Touched by her daughter's confidence, Mary wraps her hands around Chloe and takes off. Thanks for watching, and remember to turn on your notifications to watch more movie recaps like this one.